We live in a world that glorifies the chase. From the moment you wake up, you are taught to pursue something. Success, money, validation, perfection, meaning. The world tells you to go get it, as if life were a battlefield and you were a soldier fighting for your right to exist. And so you run. You chase dreams, you chase status, you chase people, but no one ever tells you the truth, that the chase itself is the trap, that the moment you start chasing life, life starts running away from you. Alan Watts understood this better than almost anyone. He saw that our entire culture was built on one subtle lie, that happiness and peace are things to be acquired, not realized. That joy is a mountain you climb, rather than the ground you're already standing on. Watts spent his life revealing the paradox hidden in the Tao, that true strength is not force, but flow, that the power you seek through effort already exists in effortless awareness. He said, "The harder you try to be good, the worse you become. Not because effort is evil, but because effort comes from the belief that you are not already enough." When you start from that illusion, every step you take pulls you further from the truth. You begin to live as a seeker instead of a being. You live chasing your own tail, always almost there, but never home. Let's start with something simple. Imagine you're learning how to float in water. If you panic, thrash your arms, and try to control the water, you sink. The more you fight, the heavier you become. But if you relax, if you surrender and trust the water to hold you, something magical happens. You float. The secret wasn't in the strength of your arms, but in the surrender of your mind. Life works the same way. The more you struggle to control it, the more it pulls you under. The more you allow it to move through you, the more you rise. Watts called this the dance of existence. You are not separate from the universe trying to survive in it. You are the universe, expressing itself as a human being, experiencing the joy and confusion of remembering who you are. When you truly see this, you stop trying to dominate life, and you begin to dance with it. We are addicted to control because we're terrified of uncertainty. We plan, analyze, predict, and compare because we think security lies in knowing what happens next. But Watts said, to have faith is to trust yourself to the water. Faith is not blind belief. It's deep participation in the unknown. It's realizing that the same intelligence that grows trees, moves tides, and spins galaxies also beats your heart and breathes through your lungs. You are not separate from the flow. You are it. The illusion of separation creates anxiety. The feeling that you must keep everything together. You must become someone. You must prove something. You must hold the world in place. But in reality, everything that truly matters, love, intuition, creativity, laughter, arises spontaneously when you stop trying to make them happen. Nobody forces a flower to bloom. Nobody commands a sunset to look beautiful. These things occur because the universe allows them to. Watts believed that the Western mind was trapped in the disease of seriousness. We treat life as a problem to be solved instead of a mystery to be lived. We forget how to play. We forget how to move with things. Children understand this naturally. When they draw, they don't worry if the lines are perfect. When they dance, they don't care if they look silly. They are absorbed by the moment, not obsessed with outcomes. Somewhere along the way, we lose that innocence. We become watchers of our own lives instead of participants. We ask, am I doing this right? Instead of just doing. And that question that self-conscious loop, kills spontaneity. The Tao teaches that water, though soft, can overcome rock. It does not fight the rock, it flows around it. That is real power. Power without tension, movement without resistance. This is what's meant by effortless living, not laziness or passivity, but trust. A profound trust in the unfolding intelligence of the now. To live in flow means to stop insisting that life go your way. The universe has been flowing for billions of years before you arrived, and it will continue long after you are gone. The idea that you can control its direction is almost comical. Yet we cling to it because ego wants control. The ego wants to be the author of reality, not the instrument of it. But Watts reminds us that ego is not your enemy. It's just a misunderstanding. The ego is like a wave that forgets it belongs to the ocean. It panics when it rises and fears disappearing when it falls. But the wave is never separate. It's always the ocean in motion. When you understand this, fear loses its grip. You no longer need to force outcomes because you trust that whatever comes is part of a greater rhythm. Most people resist this idea because they think surrender means defeat. They believe that if they stop striving, they'll lose everything. But surrender is not about giving up. It's about giving in. It's about releasing the illusion that your control creates stability. The irony is, once you stop clinging, life actually begins to flow in your favor. When you stop running after things, the right things start finding you. Why? Because resistance distorts energy. When you chase something with desperation, you communicate to the universe that you don't have it. And so, you continue to manifest lack. But when you flow, when you let go, you align with abundance. You become magnetic. You begin to attract instead of pursue. That's the paradox of effortlessness. The less you try, the more happens. Look at musicians. The best performances come when they stop trying to impress and simply merge with the rhythm. The notes play themselves. The artist disappears, and only the music remains. That's flow, when the boundary between you and the activity dissolves. Watts said that this is the secret of all mastery. The painter becomes the painting, the runner becomes the running, the lover becomes the loving. There is no separate self trying to perform well. There is only movement happening through you. When you realize that life becomes art, you stop performing for the world and start expressing the universe. You stop living by pressure and start living by participation. Watts often laughed when people asked him, "How do I stop striving?" Because the very question is a trap. To try to stop trying is still trying. You can't force effortlessness. You can only allow it. It's like trying to fall asleep by willing yourself to sleep. The harder you try, the more awake you become. Effortlessness begins when you see the absurdity of your own struggle, when you realize that your striving is an attempt to fix something that was never broken. The mind always seeks completion. It says, "Once I have this, I'll be happy." But have you noticed how that line keeps moving? You get what you wanted, and almost immediately you want something else. The cycle continues endlessly. Watts compared this to a cat chasing its tail. The faster it spins, the dizzier it becomes. The only way to end the chase is to stop running in circles and see that what you were chasing was never apart from you. You are not meant to conquer life, but to cooperate with it. That doesn't mean you abandon goals or stop caring. It means you stop identifying with the one who believes they must force outcomes. You can still move, still work, still create, but from a place of inner stillness, not inner conflict. Imagine rowing a boat downstream versus upstream. Both involve action, but one flows with the current, while the other exhausts itself against it. Flow is intelligent movement. It's the difference between alignment and friction. When your actions emerge from awareness, they are efficient and harmonious. When they come from fear or ego, they create chaos and burnout. We've built an entire civilization around the illusion of control. We schedule every moment, measure every metric, plan every contingency. Yet, we're more anxious than ever. Why? Because control is the opposite of trust. The more you tighten your grip on life, the more it slips through your fingers. Watts believed that freedom begins when you realize that your plans are secondary to the dance of reality. You can plant seeds, but you can't force them to grow. You can show up, but you can't dictate outcomes. You can give your best, but you must let go of the rest. The peace you're searching for isn't found at the end of achievement. It's found in the space between your efforts. Watts once said that we suffer because we confuse the symbol with the reality. We chase money, not because we love paper, but because we think it represents freedom. We chase fame, not because we enjoy attention, but because we believe it represents worth. We chase love, not for the person, but for the feeling of being seen. In chasing symbols, we lose contact with life itself. We forget that what we seek was never out there. It was always within. Flow is not about adding anything new. It's about removing the friction that blocks what already is. You don't need to become peaceful. You need to stop disturbing your peace. You don't need to become spiritual. You need to stop believing you aren't. The Taoists call this Wu Wei, action through non-action. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting without struggle. It's when the doer disappears and the doing remains. Think of a tree growing. It doesn't decide to grow. It doesn't strategize or compare itself to other trees. It simply grows because that's its nature. And when it stops resisting the seasons, when it allows wind, rain, and light to do their work, it becomes magnificent. You too are meant to unfold, not manufacture. You were never meant to figure out life. You were meant to live it. But what does this look like in practice? It starts with awareness. Watch how often you're tense. Watch how often you think life is something you must win. That tightness in your chest, that constant planning, that inner commentary. That's the ego's way of trying to control the uncontrollable. Don't fight it. Just notice it. The moment you observe it, you're already less identified with it. That's the first step toward flow. The second step is trust. Trust that even if things don't go as planned, they're still going perfectly according to a larger intelligence. When you drop the need to know, you open the space to experience. You begin to notice the small miracles, the synchronicities, the effortless alignments, the unexpected grace. Flow is not a technique. It's a return to simplicity, a return to the present, a return to the effortless intelligence that has been guiding life since the beginning of time. Watts said that life is like music. It's meant to be played, not hurried to its end. You don't listen to a symphony just to reach the final note. You listen to enjoy the unfolding of each moment. That's what flow feels like. The joy of participation without the burden of control. When you finally understand this, everything softens. You stop being at war with yourself. You stop needing to prove anything. You stop demanding perfection. You realize that you were never behind. You were always right on time. That's the beauty of flow. It brings you back to where you are. It dissolves the illusion that you must earn your right to exist. You don't have to chase meaning. You are meaning. You don't have to chase peace. You are peace remembering itself. Alan Watts didn't teach escapism. He taught awakening, waking up from the trance of effort. The world will keep telling you to run faster, achieve more, climb higher. But the soul whispers a different truth. Slow down. Breathe. Participate. You are not here to win the game. You are here to play it beautifully. Life is not a problem to solve, but a song to dance to. And when you finally stop chasing the rhythm, you realize you were the music all along.